Good morning, everyone. At least I'm pretty sure it will be morning when this recording plays. My name is Alex Morgan, and I am the Delivery Officer on Work Package 5 of Mission Net Zero. I'm going to be giving a quick talk on delivering retrofit, which will then be followed by my colleague Darren Perkins answering some questions on the panel. So, first of all, a bit of context. Mission Net Zero is a demonstrator project externally funded by Innovate UK and is split across 5 work packages, with the main objective being to develop the supply chain for future investable decarbonisation projects. To ensure that this is achievable, the requisite skills within the construction industry need to be in place. Myself and Darren work on Work Package 5, which is the Skills and Supply Chain Division. So, why is this important? As most know, the UK has a national target to achieve net zero by 2050, with Bristol attempting to do so by 2030. By the government's own admission, net zero cannot be achieved without first tackling the UK housing stock issue. Many residential properties are simply not fit for purpose, with many falling below an EPC rating of C, meaning that more energy and money is needed to heat and maintain them. In 2022, greenhouse gas emissions accounted for 20% of UK total emissions. Subsequently, the government set a goal of retrofitting all privately rented buildings to have an EPC rating of C+ by 2030. In order to help achieve this, significant investment is coming into Bristol over the next few years. Bristol City Leap have already pledged some money and have pledged a further £500 million, which will go to low carbon energy infrastructure. This is set to create just over 1,000 jobs. Next, we have something that many of you will be familiar with, and that is the concept of a just transition. So there's a quick definition there for you on screen. Just transition can mean many things to many different people, but here in the context of retrofit, it means that ensuring that as the economy becomes more green, that opportunities are not just concentrated in communities, firms, or individuals that have historically always benefited, whilst ignoring others from minority or less advantaged backgrounds. In 2022, a race report found that only 7% of people in the green industry were ethnic minorities. These numbers are similarly low for gender and sexual minorities. One of our partners on the project, Bristol Climate and Nature Partnership, are focusing on this and working closely with us and the other work packages to help develop a methodology to ensure that we are engaging with a wide range of voices to ensure Mission Net Zero is as inclusive and beneficial to the entire city as possible. And moving on, we have one of my favorite pieces of artwork in the city. Many of you are familiar with this one, and I think it really represents Bristol well as a whole. Next, I'll be talking about one of the 3 key pillars on the project, which is the community aspect. So on Mission Net Zero, we work closely with 3 organizations that were selected to receive funding and help to deliver skills packages to benefit their local communities. These are South Redevelopment Trust, Eastside Community Trust, and Knoll West Media Centre. They chiefly work with Work Package 3, the community division, on the Transforming Energy Together programme. Each of these communities has its own unique challenges, whether that be infrastructure, lack of green spaces, etc. Retrofit is not always a priority for community organisations, especially in deprived areas where things like fuel poverty and energy bills are more important to residents. Both residents and workers alike often lack the necessary information, confidence, or training to get involved in retrofit. Renters are constrained by tenancy agreements and are confined to shallow retrofit measures like draft proofing, while owners may lack the finances or experience to make changes of their own, for example, to their boilers or insulation. And this brings us on to our next topic, which is businesses, which forms a central foundation of Mission Net Zero. So during the discovery phase of the project, market research was conducted where just over 70 construction professionals from over 50 firms were consulted. SMEs, that is small-medium enterprises involved in construction, often cannot spare the expense, or more importantly, the time to send staff off-site for training. They also cited several other issues. So namely, there is not always a perceived need to upskill or retrain into retrofit, when the majority of micro, small, and medium businesses are often second or third-tier subcontractors and already have enough work on the books. Another layer of uncertainty lies in regulation. The UK government had previously proposed a ban on gas boilers by the year 2035. These plans have since been scrapped altogether, with no indication of them being reinstated. This change would have led installers needing to upskill into low-carbon tech, such as heat pumps, of which some 250,000 homes in the west of England alone will need in the next few years in order to achieve net zero. As a result, there is a lot of industry uncertainty. Many companies may not see a need to upskill if their books are full and they stand to lose time and money in the short term. However, they also are aware of massive investment coming into the city and simply don't want to get left behind and miss out. Some other issues cited by SMEs were procurement, namely not being able to benefit from processes which inhibit them from growing their order books, and also digital skills. These are barriers we're striving to address by working with local businesses and training providers and further education colleges alike. And this brings us on to the next topic, which is education. So we identified that the national curriculum was lacking material on green skills, green jobs, and crucially, retrofit. Teachers often want to do more, but have time or budgeting constraints. However, this is changing with programs in both the public sector being developed and rolled out, as well as the private sector. Many large companies have social value commitments, which sees them partnering with local initiatives such as Bristol Works to develop green or educational content in schools. We simply act as a bridge to connect organizations with each other. One key part of education, though, is demystifying the concept of green skills and green jobs. This can be quite nebulous depending on who you talk to, so we're trying to reframe this as future skills and future jobs to highlight the essential nature and the longevity of these career pathways. Young people, especially in a city like Bristol, don't need to be incentivized to ensure the city becomes more green. However, they may not always be aware of opportunities or pathways into green jobs and what qualifications and skills are needed to do so. Crucially, retrofit isn't purely construction, and there are many green jobs needed that aren't within the retrofit sphere. Next, we have some other key challenges facing the delivery of retrofit. So as mentioned earlier, large firms often subcontract once or even twice down the chain to smaller companies. This then calls into question quality assurance. PAS 2035, which is the gold standard in retrofit installation, is often adopted and held by larger companies, but not by the smaller ones who they subcontract their work out to. This then feeds into already poor perceptions held by homeowners and tenants alike regarding retrofit. Key area of the project is working to dispel and demystify retrofit and change the negative perceptions held as a result of poorly done work. To help combat this and to educate people, we are working on developing a program that will benefit those in trades, serve as staff CPD for organizations like the council and local residents alike. For example, many houses in the Knoll area have a structural feature which inhibits the growth of damp and mold, so special considerations need to be taken for these housing archetypes. And that brings us to the end of the presentation. While there are significant challenges in delivering retrofit, many positive steps are being taken in both the public and private sector, with many new developments and improvements set to take place over the next few years. Thank you for listening, and thank you for Low Carbon Homes for the opportunity to speak and present at the West of England Retrofit Summit. Thank you.